This week's demonstration is brought to you in association with Woodware Craft Collection and Dreamweaver Stencils.
This is Dreamweaver stencil paste.
That looks amazing.
It is, I tell you, it's fantastic because that looks like a really, really fine bit of blind embossing, doesn't it? But it's so simple to do. Now, I've had this paste probably in my cupboard for about 3 years, and admittedly, I haven't actually known what to do with it.
I think that's a familiar story for most crafters, though. We've all got something like that in the back of the cupboard.
What you do is it's paste in a jar, and it's an acrylic-based paint, not paint, acrylic-based paste. If you take a stencil, there's some lovely designs here by Linnell Harlow.
That's nice.
It is, it's lovely, that tree. Take a palette knife.
Okay.
And you ice your stencil. So this stuff, it's acrylic based, so when you finish with it, you need to clean things up. But you literally just smooth it over your stencil.
How much do you need to be putting on there? Quite a thin coating?
Yeah, it's quite a thin coat. What I would say is with some of the paste, you can see there I've got a little dried piece there, which will affect it, but you can pick them out in a minute. Just gently smooth it over. Don't press too hard down on it.
Making sure you've got it all covered.
Yeah. The other thing is also keep your metal stencils flat.
Oh, okay.
Because if you've got a slight bow in the stencil, the paste can get underneath it, which is something I found to my cost. But you know, it's quite easy. They do bend back into shape. When you've covered it, just smooth it down with long strokes of the palette knife.
Okay.
And then ideally, provided it's gone okay, if you remove this piece of masking tape, and you can just tilt this up. Look at that.
That looks so
on
effective
white
against
card,
the turquoise.
Yeah, it does. Now, while the paste is still wet, and we'll just get rid of this bit, I'm going to trim these down. While the paste is still wet, what you can do is you can get some of this glitter and just sprinkle, you don't need too much, sprinkle it over the top, and then if you shake the card and tap it, the glitter will stick to the acrylic.
Just giving it a bit of a shine.
Yeah, you don't want too much. You know, sometimes you can go a bit over the top with the glitter.
You know me too well.
Yes. And it's such a lovely effect. Now, you can get the paste in white. I also meant to bring some tissue with me, actually, to wipe this palette knife clean, so I'm just going to do it with my fingers.
Ever resourceful. Wouldn't recommend it.
Yes. They do some really nice metallics as well. I'm going to show you a metallic one now. I'm going to have to wipe this on the table. Remind me that's there. Now, the metallic, it goes on quite an opaque colour.
Okay.
But I'll show you a dry one in a minute. If I can just get the lid off this. The metallic is...
Oh, that is a funny colour, isn't it?
It is a funny colour. Now, it goes on a lot more... it's got much less viscosity than the white, than the matte colours. But when it dries, this is actually the bronze one I've done here, but you've got a really nice metallic colour. I'm just going to show you this, because another thing that you can also do, again, you don't need too much. That is ample for even the largest stencils. Smooth it on. Just make sure that you've covered all your bits of the stencil. And it is just like icing. It's like buttering a piece of bread.
Stop it, you're making me hungry.
Sorry.
Keep talking about food.
And then just use sweeping strokes to get the excess off. Like this.
It's quite therapeutic to watch you doing, actually.
Well, what I've found is if you're going to make multiple cards like this, your best bet is to tape all your stencils onto card to start with, and then just do the whole lot and then wash everything up afterwards. It does save a lot of time. And also, you know, there's less chance of bending the stencil if you're not having to wash it quite so often. Okay, lift this up.
Perfect.
And then the other thing that you can do is while that's still wet, I've got paste all over me, while it's still wet, you can take little gemstones.
This looks very fiddly.
And you can stick them into the paste.
And the paste just sticks them down, you don't need to have glue or anything?
Yeah, well, it's almost, I mean, it's not PVA, but... you know, because it dries hard, these aren't particularly accurately positioned.
Bespoke, Corinne.
Bespoke, that's the one, yeah. Definitely handmade. So you can cover that. And I mean, I've done some really nice cards here with the glitter. This is
the glitter
like
does
a colour
add a really nice touch, actually.
The other thing as well, actually, that I wanted to show you, have I got one here that, yeah, with this one's dry. In fact, I'll do it with this one.
Oh, I like that.
This is another tree stencil. Remind me they're wet. You can have that, Kate.
Oh, thanks.
Is if you get some of your chalks, if you can open the tin of your chalks, and then you can just colour it up.
Once it's dry?
Yeah, once it's dry. Give it a dusting of chalk. This is very, very rough. And it takes the colour of chalk really, really well, as you can see on this card here that I've done.
Oh, I see. You've done a bit of a
So they look like
two-tone
snow
effect.
dusted trees.
That's lovely.
So It's my favourite product this year, I think.
Oh, well, there you go. Corinne Brad has said so. Brilliant, Corinne. That's great. Thanks for coming along today.